This is a video to explain how to get into the Advent ROMA 2000 to change a power switch board. The diagram shows the positions of the screws for dismantling. Now I'll go through it and show you how the sequence of removing the screws are, but first of all, at the bottom we've got a key to show what the colour scheme is on the diagram. These end screws, there's two end screws in the end of the casing. That's one, there's the other. Now the black ones are just you can see the heads on the surface of the case, so that's these ones here. The blue ones are the ones that are underneath casings, covers, or the battery. The green ones are the two screws which give most problems. I think these are the two that people can't find, and the red ones are two kind of special screws which this one holds the keyboard in, and it's got KB beside it on the case, and this one has an O beside it on the case. It's the optical drive, the DVD drive. So those two screws, when you take them out, mark them for identification because they're different lengths. In fact, put all the screws out in a pattern that you can put them back in the same place. Now before you start, make sure that all the main leads is out of the laptop and the battery is removed from the battery compartment. Right, now then, this diagram shows the base of the case with the battery removed. Now this is the battery compartment, and what we've got is when the battery is taken out, it reveals these screws. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws to remove, and then there's one hidden screw in the battery bay, this one coloured green. It's actually under a label, and on the label it's got tampering with this, you lose your warranty, but you need to take the label off to reveal the screw. Now then, round the perimeter you need to undo these screws, and the ones marked in orange are deeper screws. They're set deep into the case, so they all need removed. Now then, we go to the hard drive cover. You remove 2 screws from the hard drive cover, and it'll let you remove it. Inside of the hard drive cover there's 2 screws, the 2 small blue ones, holding the hard drive. You remove those, and then by pulling the hard drive back, it removes it from the socket. Once you've moved it out of the way, there's 2 other screws with bigger heads on them that need removed, and then that's that section taken care of. Then go over to where the heatsink and, well, the motherboard, the heatsink and the fan are exposed when you get this cover off. That cover is removed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws that are visible on the top of the cover, and there's one deeper one which has to be removed, so that's 6 screws in all. Then when you've got that cover out of the way, it reveals the heatsink and the fan, which are in this area. Now you must remove the heatsink, which there's 3 fairly big screws on the heatsink itself in a triangular pattern, and then there's one on the end of the heatsink plate. So that's 4 screws to remove, and then the heatsink is attached to the fan top by tape. You need to pull the tape away from the fan, and it allows you to remove the complete heatsink. Now when you've done that, you'll find the screw that gives the most problems to people, I think. It's the one there, the green one, which is actually under the copper part of the heatsink, coming in this. The heatsink runs along there and then back round, and that screw is covered over by the heatsink, so by removing it you can undo that. Also, when you've got the heatsink off, the actual grill where the fan blows the hot air from is usually blocked with fluff and dust and muck, so it's a good opportunity to remove that. Then, with all the screws removed, you can then, with a screwdriver or some instrument for prising between the 2 casings, just ease it round and ease it round, and it'll flip out from the retaining sort of clips on the inside. When you've got the cover removed, you can then see where the plate is that you need to, the plate where the PCB board that holds the power switches is located, and that on the PC board you've got like a little grid, metal grid on the edge of it where 2 cables run through, which need to be just taken out of the grid and put to one side, and that reveals the 2 screws which you can remove the board itself from. And then it's just a case of taking the ribbons out of the connectors and replacing them with the new board with the ribbons on. Okay, I hope that's of some help to you. I wish I had this to look at when I was about to undo the Advent ROMA 2000 that I was working on, so I hope it gives you some indication on what has to be done and you can do it okay. This is the actual base when it's stripped out, with the little PC board right there. Okay.